Hey guys, so I'm bringing you a review today of the Saddlebag expansion for Doomtown, New Town, New Rules. Now, I'm relatively new to Doomtown. I picked it up when it first came out, but I was never really able to play it until just recently. And I already saw that this expansion was getting ready to come out, and I'm like, oh, I gotta start playing this game. So I've learned a lot since I've been playing. This game is amazing. It's a it's made by AEG, and it's not really a LCG or living card game because that term, I believe, is copywritten. So it's an expandable card game, but it's basically, you buy the box, you get all the cards, well, 2 of every card, I should say, and when you buy the expansions, you get 4 of every card that comes with the expansion. So you don't have to buy boosters, there's nothing random to it, but, you know, this expansion, I hadn't seen any spoilers on it at all. But I was happy because I've finally started getting decent at Doomtown, and I have a deck built right now that's mostly 9, 10, Jack, Queen, King, and so I'm looking for that whole royal flush kind of draw hand. And this offers a few things that are going to help. So I'm going to start off showing you the characters, the dudes that come in this. We've got 2 that are that can go in any build. And they're basically mirror images of the same thing. Wilbur Crawley and Roderick Bayer. And they both have no upkeep. They cost 5. They're 1 and 1, and they're Huckster 1, Mad Scientist 1. So it's pretty nice cards, especially if you want them as a starting posse, because they're pretty competent. They're pretty decent abilities with no upkeep. Then for the Sloan gang, this one is the one I'm most happy about because she's going straight into my deck. Because the Sloan gang has a lack of high cards for their dudes. Sloan is the only king, and I don't think they have anything else up until like a 7 or an 8. So Alice still works well with the theme I have going, at least for her suit. Plus, she's really tough. I usually start Sloan, so I could start her instead, and have less of an upkeep. So that's certainly a possibility. I like this card, and then. Then she also helps because she can join from anywhere, so that's cool. Ulysses Marks, he's another guy that works well at saloons, and he's got 2 control points, so he's not too bad, not too expensive either, just got the upkeep cost there. Now Morgan, we finally get, a high card for Morgan, the Morgan Cattle Company, Lillian Morgan. I don't really know the story. I don't know if she's like the wife of the owner or if she owns it herself or what the deal is there, but I'm really digging the artwork. Look at her, man. She's nice looking, well drawn. 5 control points on her too. That's insane. Now she's very expensive, just like any of the the kings from the different outfits, but basically she gets 3 Ghost Rock on her when she joins a posse to be used for shootout abilities, which has a lot of uses, but she has an innate synergy with that to allow other people to join the same posse that she joined, and so that's really nice. And she doesn't have any bullets, but she's certainly a threat. So she's and Huckster too, which is really, she's got a lot going on. She might be one of the best kings. Alright, Kyle Wagner, another Morgan Cattle Company with Mad Scientist, so that's good. And he's got Mad Scientist of 2 and 0 upkeep. That's not bad. He doesn't have any control points, though, but he's pretty cheap, so he would make a real nice starting dude. If Kyle is at a ranch, unboot the ranch. Its abilities may be used an additional time this turn. I really want to make a Morgan Cattle Company deck now because there's so many nice cards for it. Alright, Wiley Jenks. Now, this is a law dog. He's a deputy, and he has a +1 bullet for each wanted dude in the opposing posse. He's pretty tough, and that's a potentially really nice ability, but he costs 8. I don't know, man. That's a little too steep for me. Now, Rafi Hamid. He's a 2/2, 5 cost, 1 upkeep. He's another deputy, and he's got a shootout ability. One or more of your deputies in any location joins your posse at a government deed, moving if necessary. Finally, something to reference a government deed. Alright, now we've got our 4th ring. This guy looks like a sleazeball, doesn't he? Slade Live. Now, I don't like the 4th ring. I'm going to throw that right out there. I haven't really played them yet. He's Huckster 2, and after he fails a hex pull, you can pull again and use that value instead, and ace the hex after applying its effects, if any. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I would want to lose a hex just because I failed one time. But then again, if I played these guys more, I might, you know, see the value in that. But I'm not thrilled with him. And then Dolph Zug has no abilities, but he only costs 2. But he has an upkeep of 1. But he's fairly tough, 2 and 2. I don't know. He's kind of a mixed bag for a character there. I don't like the 1 upkeep on him, but I like that he's got 2 control points, or rather 2 influence. So that's nice. All right, now I'm going to talk about deeds. We only have 2 deeds here. The R&D Ranch. It's a private. It's a ranch. It's out of town, and it has the keyword experimental, which I have not seen before. Haven't seen anything to reference that yet either. Controller Noon Boot, gain 2 Ghost Rock and pull. If the pull is a club, discard this deed and all cards at this location. So that's pretty interesting. Yeah, obviously this would work well in a deck that didn't have that many clubs. Wow, yeah, you might not want any clubs. So that's interesting and very interesting. Town Council. Private government controller react boot. It's another government. If you win lowball, choose one of your dudes. They get +3 influence until after the first high noon play, including passing, is resolved. That's interesting. That's pretty bizarre. I'm gonna have to read that again. But I see you get +3 influence. But after the first play is resolved, I mean, what's the point of that? Maybe I'm missing something on this card. Maybe it's because I haven't played that much, which I plan to remedy. I absolutely love this game. I just wish, I wish I knew as much about it as I know about some other games. Now we're gonna go to hearts. So we've got well, maybe I should be starting at the other side. It doesn't matter. I'll start from high and work my way down. All right, this is Forget. Looks like a really, really cool hex. Costs nothing too. Noon, hex 5, and you boot it to choose an ability printed on a dude at this or an adjacent location. I think that's key. The dude cannot use the ability until after the sundown phase. That is so good for especially people like Wendy, the one on the cover. I hate her. She pistol whips people back home in the middle of a shootout and stuff like that. Oh, that's just so nice. I love that. That makes me want to use 4th ring. Paralysis Mark. Hex. Noon Hex X. Boot. X is the value of a dude at this or an adjacent location. Boot the dude. So it just lets you boot somebody. It's also really nice. But I like Forget better. Plasma Drill. Difficulty 8. Noon, pay 1 Ghost Rock and boot, so you have to pay to use it. And it also costs 4, so that's pretty expensive. Boot this dude and choose a deed at an adjacent location to have its owner pay Ghost Rock equal to its production. If they cannot or do not, discard the deed. Wow! Basically, you can blow somebody's deed away. That's huge, man. Especially if it's in an adjacent location. So if you go to Town Square, everything's adjacent, except for the out-of-town deeds. Yeah, that's you're asking for a fight if you just bring a guy with this into the Town Square. You're asking for a fight. That's crazy good. You just have to have a deck that has a lot of money to use something like that. Faithful Hound. Sidekick. He is so cute. The artwork on these cards is really fantastic. It's really very good. Sidekick. This card can be discarded to cover 1 casualty. I like that they have things printed that way. So because when I first got into this game, there's so many keywords and most of them don't matter unless they're referenced by something else. But some of them do, and so it's I like when the helper text is there. Shootout boot ability. Choose a goods in the opposing posse and pull. If the pull is lower than the value of the goods, discard the goods. It's not bad. I don't see that many goods being played since I've been playing, but it's definitely got its uses. And then we've got a telepathy helmet, and this is a gadget with difficulty 5. It only costs 1. If you're the winner, This dude cannot be affected by other players' shootout abilities. Not bad, but this would only work at the end because you don't have to determine the winner. Repeat noon, pay one ghost rock, look at a player's hand. That's actually that's the best part of that. This whole thing is look at a player's hand. That could be very nice. I like it. I definitely like it. And now we're going to go into our clubs. All right, so we've got too much attention here, and you can either boot a wanted dude or boot a card with one or more control points. Now this is going to be a nice counter to some of those things I have in the in my Sloan Gang deck. But it's, you know, it's nice. I can see the value in this. Definitely, it's got two uses too, but each of them are kind of specific. But it's also a 10, so you know you gotta look at. I wouldn't want that in my deck though. Okay. All right, hired help, shootout. A 2-stud gunslinger token enters play and joins your posse. So that's a real, and it costs 3, but a 2-stud, you know, that could be a very welcome surprise to turn the tides. Back waves. Move your wanted dude to another location without booting. So that's nice. And it's a noon ability. And then make them sweat. Shootout. Shootout abilities are always very nice. Boot your dude to reduce another dude's bullet rating by your dude's bullet rating. If their bullet rating is 0 or less, boot them. That's awesome, especially if you start with a real tough, like if you start with a king, then yeah, that's a great card to have in your deck. So there is the expansion. It obviously comes with 4 of every one of those cards. This is the Doomtown new rules. I didn't see any new rules in the expansion, but you know, I'm sure it's just a slang term. But yeah, there was no new rules appendix. So yeah, fun expansion. I have not put anything into decks yet, but I'm going to be working on that today. Let me know what you think.